make hummus today. Hummus is really delicious, and you're probably used to buying it in the deli section or the refrigerator section of your market. Not many people prepare hummus by themselves at home. There were a couple times in my life where I ate hummus and it was so good that I knew that all the hummus that I'd eaten before was just, I mean, it was kind of just garbage. What is hummus? What are we eating when we eat hummus? We're eating bean puree. I don't actually know who says chickpea, who says garbanzo bean. Same thing. We peel them, which you'll learn to hate later. And then another critical ingredient is tahini. Tahini is a seed butter, right? So you know how you make peanut butter from peanuts? Tahini is basically a seed butter from sesame seeds. It has some salt in it and some olive oil. I like to put cumin in my hummus, so a little bit of that. Lemon juice gives hummus a little bit of acidity. And then we have a couple aromatics here. I have a shallot and some garlic. I like just to use them when I cook the beans. And the reason is I only want a very little subtle bit of that flavor in there that just sort of kind of pushes the bottom end of the chickpea flavor a little bit. You know, gives it a little bit of thickness. A little booty. When I'm making hummus, I like cooking from scratch, from dry beans. A lot of people say that canned beans taste about the same, but I find that their texture isn't quite as good and the flavor it's just not 100% there. I've got a pressure cooker here. This piece of equipment basically is a bean cooker. You don't have to think, 3 days ahead of time, like, oh, am I gonna want beans on Thursday? Like, no, that's not how it works, right? I don't know what I'm gonna eat on Thursday. I don't even know what I ate last Thursday. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. People get rice cookers to cook rice, right? How many kinds of rice are there? 4? That's not true. There's a lot of kinds of rice. Well, there are so many different kinds of beans. There's lima beans, pinto beans, garbanzo beans, navy beans, kidney beans, cannellini beans, black beans. That's more beans than kinds of rice, right? So why should I have to justify buying a bean cooker? The thing is, they don't call it a bean cooker. They call it a pressure cooker, whatever. It's a damn bean cooker. This is my bean cooker. I'm gonna make beans in it. For you. We are going to start with 2.5 cups of dry chickpeas. Ish. Definitely super ish. Sounds like a strain of weed, doesn't it? Whatever. You want about 2.5 cups. It's going to depend on how old the chickpeas are, where they came from. Is it an heirloom chickpea? Is it a generic chickpea? Is it a GMO chickpea? Is the chickpea named Stan? Is the chickpea farmer named Stan? I'm a chickpea Stan. Let's rinse them off. So I'm going to shake the chickpeas a little bit to get them to settle, and I'm going to stick my finger in there, and when I touch the top of the chickpeas, the water goes up to my first knuckle. For about 2.5 cups of chickpeas, I'm going to throw in about a tablespoon of salt. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw in a couple peppercorns just because. I don't know why. Can't hurt. I don't know whether or not you count this as a shallot or you count this as 2 shallots, but I'm going to say that you count it as 1 shallot, and therefore I think that you should use about a half shallot for this. Cut off the tips, cut it in half. And then you just drop it in there. Don't even worry about it. I know that when I say a clove of garlic, you're not normally finding something that looks like this. I mean, I've seen cloves of garlic that are this big, right? Let's go 3 because they're so tiny. And just to prove that this works, I'm not even gonna skin these. There.
In camicia, as the Italians say.
In camicia?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
I think it means like in its sweater.
In its sweater. So I'm gonna put the lid on. Then I'm going to hit the pressure cook button, and we are going to do this for 1 hour on the highest pressure that your pressure cooker will allow. Thank you, computer. I'm intentionally overcooking the chickpeas here. First, it allows more flavor from the garlic and shallot to get infused. And the second reason is that it allows us to make the creamiest possible hummus. This is the kind of texture that will drive you insane. I mean, if you have someone living with you, make sure that they've stocked up on horse tranquilizers, because after you try this, you are going to freak the hell out. I'm gonna put cumin in the hummus. And I found that if I toast cumin before I use it, it gives it a more nutty flavor. Anything you'd normally put cumin in, this is worth trying to see how it changes the flavor. I'm heating a pan on medium-high heat. You want it pretty hot. You do not want it to be wet. No oil, no nothing. Put it on the dry pan, and we will shake it. And you'll smell this amazing toasty, nutty smell. And then pour it into your grinder, crusher, whatever it is you got. This is untoasted cumin on this side, and this is toasted cumin. They look pretty similar, but the real difference is the smell. Here, I'm gonna smell them, and hopefully I don't snort any cumin. I don't know what the effects will be on that. The toasted cumin is way more fragrant than the untoasted cumin. I'm sure people tell you that you're supposed to, kind of like smash it. I don't even bother with that. I just kind of Let's do the swirl. So I'm gonna knock the side here to kick some of them off, and then we'll measure it off later. So our chickpeas have finished cooking in the pressure cooker. Take the business end of a spoon, and I kind of just... Once you have depressurized your pressure cooker, it's time to take a look inside. Let's do it. We got cooked chickpeas now. I'm gonna taste one, make sure that it's mushy. Perfect. These are the ones out of the can, and these are the ones that I cooked. Now, funny enough, I almost feel like these look more appealing, but they're a much firmer texture. They're kind of grainy and bland. They taste sort of like cat food smells. I can put some pressure on them, and it stays. This guy over here, as soon as I put pressure on it, it smushes because we cooked it extra. It's like creamier, and it's got flavor. There's another thing to learn about chickpeas, which is that they have a skin. Its texture is more grainy than the inside of the chickpea. The skin will come right off. I sit at the table and I meditate, and I do that for like 30 minutes, and Alex is just looking at me like I'm some sort of freak. But I read a trick. Turn on our cold tap water, and when you have the claw with your hands, get it in there and shake vigorously. Pour them out over a strainer. Just do them a couple times. Shake it around. Look at that. Pour it off, bunch of skins just come right off. Now this will get us way, way faster towards our goal of skinning the chickpeas. This guy is good, and then this guy still has a little bit of skin on him, so we can just drop that guy in and boop. Feeling around, and you just get a bunch of skins off. This is 3.5 cups of the cooked chickpeas. I measured them off camera, so I'm just gonna dump them in there. Next, we are going to take a teaspoon of our toasted ground cumin. Put it in there, don't worry, it'll all incorporate. Then we're gonna go with a teaspoon of kosher salt. 1/2 cup of olive oil. Oh, pour that in there. And we need about 1/4 cup of lemon juice, so we got a lemon. Getting the lemon juice out of the lemon. When God gives you lemons, make hummus. I need to get one of those things that juices lemons. Boom, we'll put that in there. Shake your tahini. We want 1/4 cup of that too. Beautiful. Oh, luxurious. And finally, we're gonna add 1/2 cup of cold water. Wacha. Okay, I missed, so I'm gonna give it a little, yeah, don't be like me, I'm a showboater. Oh, So it looks like I left a peppercorn in there by mistake. Well, it'll be okay. So I'm gonna scrape down the sides. I like it a little thinner, so I'm gonna give it maybe 1.5 tablespoons or 2 tablespoons more water, just to thin it out a bit. And now you have this totally luscious, smooth as butter hummus. And we'll just put it in this bowl, and then you can stick it in the fridge, and it'll keep for, I don't know, a week. So if you want to give this a bit of pizzazz when you serve it up, you can make a little olive oil moat in the middle. Take some salt and just kind of like, woo! Then you can take your favorite chili flake. I have Urfa Biber, but you know, just plain old red chili pepper or Aleppo pepper, anything would do. Some za'atar. And it's just, you know, a beautiful thing. Hummus and pita, what could go wrong? Oh boy, I can't wait for this. Give it a nice hearty dip. Get all that stuff in there, and oh, wow. I always laugh when I like what I'm eating, but I mean, who could blame me? It makes me super happy. It's creamy. It's got a little tiny bit of tang from the lemon. Chef's kiss. It's got, you know, the richness of all of the tahini and the garbanzo beans, and then a little bit of depth with the chili that I put on top, and I just, you know, Make some hummus.
Is this saffron?
Give me a freaking break.
So good. It's creamier than any hummus I've ever had, except
I had too many sweets after lunch. It was a bad idea. Just get your typical powdered hummus. Sorry, Jesus Christ. Powdered hummus is gross. It's like astronaut hummus. It's like reconstitute my hummus. Oh man. It gets bad when I do that.
That's when it
I'm
gets
gonna say
bad.
a woman.